Aloha and welcome to the Murph's Place 808 for the Love of Golf podcast. I am your host, Murph. What is going on, people? Hope you guys have had a good week and a half, whatever it's been. It's been nice here. It's been pretty good. Just returning back from Maui. We went ski, and myself and my buddy Tony is visiting from Ohio. And this was his first trip to Maui for the Maui Invitational Basketball Tournament. Ski's 26th year and my 7th year. So we go over every year, with the exception of the last 2 years. They had it in Vegas last year and then in Carolina the year before because of COVID. So we're just returning back today from that. And we also did a little show over there on the road, which I'll be posting here probably later this weekend. But it was a good time. We got to see Ohio State play. Ohio State Buckeyes came, and they played on Saturday. Not Saturday, on Monday. They played on Monday. They didn't play very well, got beat by San Diego State. And then they went into the losers bracket, and they played yesterday and won. So they ended up, I believe, finishing 5th, and so not a bad tournament. There was 8 teams, I think, over there, 8 or 9 teams, so a good turnout for the Buckeyes. But other than that, it was a good trip, and we didn't get too crazy or drink too much, although when you listen to that podcast that we did, you might think, well, one guy was a little tipsy, but the other 2 of us were not. So, but anyhow, so Fia, Joe P is still the champ. He also played the Governor's Cup qualifier for the Sony Open, and he did that on Monday. He shot 76. He started out well, and then he had a few 3-putts on the back 9, which took him out of contention. But he was a couple under after, 5 or 6 holes, so he played well. I don't know. I'm going to talk to him. I haven't seen him yet, but he was kind of keeping us up to date as he was playing. He would, he'd be like 1 under after 1 hole. And then a couple of minutes later, he'd be like 2 under after 5 holes or whatever. And I don't know. I wish he would have just not did that. I know it was nice of him to keep us updated because we do want to know how he's doing, but he could have let us know after 9 and then 18. I don't know if that took away his focus on his game, but he had a few 3-putts on the back 9, which took him out of contention of making the qualifier to play in the Sony Open. So, but congrats to Joe anyhow for even making it that far. It's pretty tough because there's a lot of good golfers in this area, and to make the top 12 for the Governor's Cup, that's a feat in itself. So congrats to Joe on making it that far, and we'll shoot for next year. Beach Boys, we played our annual turkey shoot 2-day event. Now, normally when you play a turkey shoot, you're giving away turkeys. But we didn't do that. It was even a little bit better because the pots were bigger as far as the money that you could win. So the first day we played Ko'olina, which was last Monday, and it was, 2 weeks ago Monday, I think. Not this past Monday. And the course was great, as always, and Chemo Green wiped up on the money that day. He won like low net on the front, low net overall, a couple greenies or a greenie and a chippy or something, so he did well. The next day Tuesday we played Ho'akale, thanks to Troy, who's a member there. It's a private course, and that course is always in great shape. And the pots were the same, and it got spread out a little bit though. One guy didn't win all the money, which was kind of nice. So And then this past Monday, they played Coral Creek. I was over on Maui, so I did not play this past Monday. And Steve just sent me the cards tonight to enter in for the handicap, so I'll be doing that later after we get done here on the podcast. So let's take a short break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everybody. Some PGA news. We had the Cadence Bank Houston Open last week. Tony Finau wins his third tournament in his last 7 starts. He played pretty good. He shot 16 under and won by 4 shots over Tyson Alexander. And so congrats to Tony on that. We also have that Brent Grant watch going on the PGA Tour. Brent did play. He was in the field. He missed the cut. He shot 67-74, and he was just 1 shy of the cut. So then this past weekend, we had the RSM Classic at Sea Island Golf Club in Georgia. Adam Svensson was your winner, shooting 19 under, and he won by 2 strokes over Callum Tarrant, Sahith Theegala, and Brian Harmon. This was actually Adam's first win on the PGA Tour. Brent was in the field for that tournament also. He did make the cut. He finished tied for 54th with rounds of 71, 67, 71, 67. So that was pretty consistent. His first and third rounds were the same score, and second and fourth rounds were the same score. So congrats to Brent on making the cut and cashing, getting a check. Now the tour is going to take a 6-week break for the holidays, and it will return with the Century Tournament of Champions at Kapalua in the first week of January. And while we were over on Maui, we actually normally we play golf, but these guys asked me, hey, do you want to take the clubs this time, or you want to leave them? And so I figured that you didn't really want to play a whole lot, since they're not as avid golfers as what I am. So I just told them, no, let's just leave the clubs home and don't worry about it. And it also saved us a little bit more money. I'll tell you what's crazy is our flights, our plane tickets, it was only like $39 one way on Southwest. And I don't know if I'm a big fan of Southwest. I mean, the flight was fine, but they don't have seat numbers. You're either A, B, or C. And so A goes first, then B goes, and then C. And you just sit wherever you want to sit. Well, if you're in that last group, the pickings can be slim if it's a full flight. And so we flew over. We were in C on the way over to Maui, and but I still got an aisle seat, which I need to have an aisle seat for my leg to stretch out from my knee. But on the way back, we were in B, and that was because it wasn't a full flight, so there wasn't any issue getting a seat where you wanted to sit when we went on the plane. So, but it was crazy because the flight is so cheap, but the rental car was like $1,000. It was nuts. It was crazy. It used to be the other way around. The flights were really expensive, and the rental car was fairly affordable, cheap. Not anymore. It's crazy how because of the pandemic and everything, a lot of these places ship their cars to the mainland because they weren't going to be using them. And then, so when it opened back up, there was a kind of a shortage on rental cars. So these guys started charging premium prices for them. And it's still continuing today, even though we've been open for a while. So, but anyhow, while we were there, we went to Kapalua just to show Tony, and basically showed him hole number 18, which plays like 671 yards from the tips. That's where the PGA plays it from. And I was telling him how Ski and I played it when we played it, because we played it every year we went over. The one year we hit good drives, and it's downhill and it goes to the left. So if you hit a good drive, that ball will hit and then just roll. And we both missed eagle putts on that hole. We both were on the green and 2 on that hole, and it's a long hole. But like I said, if you hit it out to the right and you hit a decent shot, it's going to run forever. So anyhow, we went to Kapalua and showed Tony that and checked it out. But that's where they're going to be starting up the new season with the Century Tournament of Champions there. And like I said, that'll be in January. Corn Ferry Tour. I know I reported last time that Q School was over and Jared Sawada made the cut, qualified for 12 events this upcoming season. And they're not going to start their season until January, they'll be going to the Bahamas for the Bahamas Great Exuma Classic. I'm not sure if Jared will be in the field, but we'll find out, and I'll pass it on when I do. But good luck to Jared this year, and let's see if we can't get him to the PGA Tour. It'd be cool to have him and Brent on the tour at the same time, and you never know. Let's hope it happens. So let's take another short break, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned for new albums from Smart Boy artists C Money Baby and Picasso. In the meantime, grab some new summertime merch like swimwear, shorts, slides, and more. Head to www.smartboystudios.com to stay up to date on new music, new videos, new merch, and any upcoming events. All right, welcome back, everybody. So I'm going to have Shep on next week to go over. He's going to be starting up the APT tour, the Amateur Players Tour here in Hawaii coming up, I believe. I don't know if it's going to start in January or February, but I'll have him on the show next week, and we'll discuss what's going on with that. It's similar to like the Golf Channel Am Tour that John Harmon ran when it was going on here. The only issue that we had with the Golf Channel Am Tour was you're paying, I don't know what some of the entries fees, like $150 or whatever, and to play in these tournaments. And depending on how many is in your field, the payout is determined by that. And when you won, you really didn't get back even your entry fee, which some people didn't care. Obviously, some guys did care because the numbers started falling off. We didn't have as many people entering into the tournaments. So when Shep was talking about starting up this APT tour, which it's a national tour, it's all over the place. I believe he just came back from Arizona or somewhere for their meeting. But I told him, I said, if you're gonna do this, and you want guys to play in it, the payout has to, if they win, they got to at least get back their entry fee. And if possible, a little more than that, if you want to keep guys coming and competing in this. And I'm not sure if you get points for it and stuff like you used to do in the Golf Channel Am Tour. I don't know if there's a national tournament or anything like that, but I'm going to have Shep on next week and to discuss that, and we'll go from there. But that's about it for the show this week. If you guys have any questions or topics you want to discuss, please shoot me an email at merceplace808@gmail.com, and we'll get those taken care of. Thank you guys for listening, tuning in, and supporting. I appreciate your support. And and if you guys are playing golf, hit them straight, hit them long, but don't hit them very often. Aloha, everybody.